To be clairaudient is to use your sense of hearing. But just like we discussed with clairvoyance, it's not just as simple as it seems. We want to expand the point of view about having to listen, like as in someone's talking to us, and we want to understand that it's really about tuning in. So listening is not just about listening with your hearing, it's really about being in presence to tune in. So, tinnitus and also ear popping is very common for those who experience clairaudience. And the reason why that is that when we are tuning into a different frequency, a different dimension, we will be hearing it. So tinnitus is a super sign that this is happening to you. I used to have this a lot during my awakening to the point it was doing my head in. And I used to have the ear popping so profusely that I used to jump up and down trying to get water out of my ear, but I hadn't been swimming. So I just presumed some water got in my ear from washing my hair. The truth is, it was all signs from spirit that I was tuning in to a different frequency to, like communicate with spirit. But it doesn't mean that spirit is always wanting to communicate with you. It's really just knowing that spirit is around and that you are reaching the frequency where you can tune into them. So we don't want to come from a viewpoint that, oh, my ear's popping, or I've got tinnitus, this must mean I've got to communicate with spirit. Sometimes it just means that spirit is around you and you are tapping into that frequency, which is always there, but you're becoming more attuned to it. So what I find super interesting is that we can hear the popping, we can feel the popping, we can hear the tinnitus, we can even hear words coming through. And just like with the clairvoyancy, it can be so different to what we can expect. So quite often I might hear the word like birds or flowers, and it's like I'm hearing it with my imagination, just like when I'm seeing things, but I'm seeing it in my imagination. So again, this is a way that we can tune into the clairaudience, is by not having judgment or expectations on how that is meant to look. Now, I can get ear popping when I'm going for a hike in the bush, in the forest. I can get the ear popping, and I'll be like, oh, there's spirit around. That may be beings. That might be beings of light or forest beings that are trying to communicate with me, or maybe just letting me know that I'm there. So I don't give it too much thought. If I feel the urge, like if my intuition and my gut is saying, hey, stop and communicate, or be in this essence and presence of spirit, then I can do that as well. But it doesn't mean just because I'm feeling things that I have to actually stop and communicate with spirit. It doesn't mean that at all. But if I feel the urge, of course, I will do so. So I'm intrigued. Have you had ear popping? Have you had tinnitus? Do you hear words? Do you often hear someone calling your name? I can sometimes hear Victoria, and I'll sit up and I'll be like, what? And I'll be like, oh, it's time to get up. I used to ask the angels to wake me up every morning because I didn't like alarms. I didn't want a cell phone in my room. And I would literally get Victoria. And I would sit up and be like, whoa, there's no one around. That was hearing it. But that was because I was asleep and it woke me up. Usually I'm not conscious enough to hear it literally, like the Victoria, or maybe I'm too afraid of to hear it. Just like sometimes we're too afraid to see spirit, right? So they are very unique, and they are very clever in how they communicate with us. So what I want you to do today is to tune in to your heart center, and then like just kind of expand your bubble out and ask, what am I hearing? And then just literally tuning into what you are hearing. I can hear my fridge in the studio that I'm in. If I'm at the beach, I can hear the waves. The more aware and presence I'm in, the more conscious awareness I'm in, I hear the crickets and the birds. I can hear like children, and I can hear neighbors. I can hear the fire from my candle. I can hear my clock ticking. To tune into your clairaudient abilities is to be present enough to be in the awareness of what you are hearing. Okay. And in this busy world, there's usually like people on devices over there, there's fridges going there, there's like an alarm going over there, and there's people nattering over there. It's so, so busy. And we are only aware of what is kind of in front of us usually. But when we start expanding our awareness in all ways, we can start hearing far and wide, just like animals do. They can hear a long, long, long way away, and we can tune in to more than we can possibly think. So that is what I want you guys to do today, to find that space of silence. And this is something we should do every day when we're in our sacred space, is to go, what can I hear? What can I see? And just sitting in that. And when you're at the beach, you can hear the beautiful ocean. When you're in the forest, you can hear the birds. But when do we ever hear stillness and silence? Very, very rarely. So what if you even put some earplugs in, and then what can I hear in the silence? And that way we can tune in even more and start seeing even more. I hope this has been helpful for you. I'd love to know, there's so much more to this. This is just a very, very small snippet, obviously, but I'd love to hear how this resonates with you, and I'll see you next time.